In this episode, we're going to make roles and responsibilities in AI governance feel straightforward, because clear ownership is one of the most important ideas in AI security management. When people are new to this space, they often assume security is mostly about technical controls, but in real organizations, many problems happen because nobody was clearly responsible for a decision. AI adds extra complexity because the system's behavior is shaped by many moving parts, like data, model choices, prompts, user interactions, and ongoing updates. If you do not define who owns which decisions across those parts, you end up with gaps where everyone assumes someone else is handling it. Those gaps lead to inconsistent practices, slow responses, and weak evidence when leaders or regulators ask what happened. Clear roles do not just prevent confusion, they also make the organization faster, because people can act without endless debate. By the end, you should be able to describe the key roles commonly involved in AI governance, what responsibilities they carry, and how that clarity improves security and trust. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to our course companion books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyber.author.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. The first thing to understand is that roles are not only job titles, and responsibilities are not only tasks on a checklist. A role is a position in the decision-making system, meaning it has authority over certain choices and accountability for certain outcomes. Responsibilities are the obligations that come with that authority, such as approving use cases, ensuring controls exist, or maintaining documentation. In AI governance, you need roles because decisions must be made repeatedly across the life cycle, not just once at launch. For example, someone must approve the purpose of the system, someone must approve what data it can use, someone must approve when it is safe to deploy, and someone must decide what happens when it behaves unexpectedly. If those responsibilities are not assigned, the organization either stalls or moves forward without control. Beginners should also know that responsibility should be visible, meaning you can point to a specific owner and say this person or role is accountable. That visibility is what makes decisions defensible later. A helpful anchor role is the executive sponsor, even if the sponsor is not involved in daily details. The executive sponsor provides authority, resources, and a clear signal that governance matters. Without a sponsor, governance programs can become optional, and optional programs get bypassed when teams are busy. The sponsor's responsibilities usually include setting priorities, approving major policy direction, and resolving conflicts when stakeholders disagree. In AI governance, conflicts can be serious, like a business unit wanting to deploy a high-impact system quickly while compliance warns of regulatory risk. An executive sponsor provides a path to a decision that is aligned with business objectives and risk tolerance. Beginners sometimes imagine sponsors as purely symbolic, but in reality, a sponsor is the person who makes the program real by backing decisions with authority. When exam questions hint at governance lacking influence or being ignored, the missing piece is often executive sponsorship and clear authority. Another central role is the business owner, sometimes called the product owner, because AI systems exist to support business outcomes. The business owner is responsible for defining the use case, setting success criteria, and ensuring the system is used in ways that match its purpose. This role is also responsible for accepting residual risk, meaning if the system cannot be made perfectly safe, the business owner must formally accept what risk remains. That acceptance is important because it prevents security teams from being blamed for business decisions that were never theirs to make. In AI contexts, business owners also need to help define what harm looks like, because harm is often tied to business operations, customer experience, and brand trust. A beginner might assume security always decides, but a well-run program separates responsibilities so security advises and sets requirements while the business owns the outcome. This separation reduces conflict and improves accountability because everyone knows who is deciding what. The AI system owner role is also critical, and it is slightly different from the business owner. The system owner is accountable for the AI system as a living service, including how it is built, operated, monitored, and updated. In some organizations, the business owner and system owner are the same person, but often they are different, especially when technical teams operate the system day to day. The system owner's responsibilities include ensuring documentation exists, ensuring changes follow governance routines, and ensuring monitoring is in place to detect issues. If the model drifts, outputs become unsafe, or data sources change, the system owner must coordinate response and improvement. This role is essential because AI systems can change subtly over time, and without a system owner, small issues can grow unnoticed. For beginners, the key idea is that every AI system needs a named owner for ongoing control, not just a project team that disappears after launch. Many exam questions reward answers that assign clear ownership to maintain accountability over time. The security role, often represented by a security lead or security reviewer, is responsible for defining security requirements, evaluating controls, and verifying that protections are in place. This role is not just about technology. It is about ensuring the system meets the organization's security standards and aligns to risk management expectations. In AI governance, security responsibilities often include reviewing access controls, evaluating data protection, ensuring logging and monitoring exist, and checking that incident response plans cover AI-specific scenarios. Security also plays a key role in translating threats into practical requirements, like limiting what the model can access and restricting how outputs can be used. Beginners should understand that security is typically not the final owner of business risk, but security is responsible for making sure risk is identified, mitigated appropriately, and documented. If a question asks how to make an AI deployment defensible, a strong answer often includes security review and evidence of control verification. Security is the role that ensures safety measures are not just promised, but actually implemented. Privacy and compliance roles are also common and important, especially when AI systems use personal data or operate in regulated environments. Privacy responsibilities include ensuring personal information is handled appropriately, ensuring data minimization and retention rules are followed, and ensuring rights and obligations are respected. Compliance responsibilities include mapping regulations and contracts to requirements, ensuring evidence is collected, and ensuring governance decisions can be defended to auditors or regulators. In many organizations, privacy and compliance are different roles, but they work closely with security because the boundaries overlap. AI systems create unique privacy issues because outputs can reveal sensitive information and because training data can embed personal details in unexpected ways. Beginners should remember that privacy and compliance are not optional extras. They are part of what makes AI use acceptable and sustainable. When exam questions mention regulators, contracts, or data rights, the best answers usually include involvement from privacy and compliance roles. Clear responsibilities prevent last-minute surprises that force rushed decisions. Technical roles, such as engineering or development teams, have responsibilities that often include building the system according to requirements and maintaining it safely. These teams are responsible for implementing controls that governance requires, like restricting access, ensuring safe integrations, and supporting monitoring and logging. They also have responsibilities around documentation, such as recording model versions, data sources, and change history, because that information is needed for evidence and incident response. Beginners sometimes assume technical teams will automatically do the secure thing, but in reality, they need clear requirements and decision support to avoid accidental gaps. Governance works best when technical teams are included early, because they can help define what is practical and how to build controls that actually work. If technical teams are excluded, governance may create requirements that are hard to implement, leading to delays or bypass. The exam often expects you to understand that responsibilities should be shared, but clearly assigned, so technical teams know what they must deliver and by when. Clear roles help technical teams succeed rather than leaving them guessing. Another role that is increasingly important in AI governance is the risk management function, sometimes represented by a risk officer or risk committee. Risk management responsibilities include defining risk tolerance, ensuring assessments are performed consistently, and ensuring decisions reflect the organization's appetite for risk. In AI, risk management helps the organization decide what level of uncertainty is acceptable, especially in high-impact uses where errors can cause serious harm. Risk teams also help prioritize which systems require deeper oversight, and which can move faster with lighter controls. For beginners, it helps to see risk management as the group that keeps the organization honest about trade-offs, rather than letting excitement override caution. When a question asks how to prioritize governance effort or how to choose an approach that matches business priorities, risk management is often part of the correct reasoning. This role also supports consistent decision-making across business units, so different teams are not making contradictory choices. Clear risk responsibilities help the organization act with one voice. Vendor and procurement roles also matter because many AI capabilities come from external providers, and external providers introduce dependencies and risk. Responsibilities in this area include due diligence, contract requirements, security reviews, and ongoing monitoring of vendor performance and changes. If a vendor model is updated, a vendor changes data handling practices, or a vendor suffers a breach, the organization needs a clear process for response. Beginners should understand that vendor management is not just purchasing, it is governance work that affects security and compliance. AI vendor relationships can be complex because data may be sent to a service, and outputs may depend on services outside the organization's control. Clear responsibilities ensure someone tracks vendor obligations, ensures evidence exists, and coordinates changes with internal stakeholders. Exam questions that involve third parties often reward answers that include formal vendor oversight rather than informal trust. Ownership must extend beyond the organization's walls, even when the technology does not. To make roles and responsibilities actually work, the organization also needs simple rules for decision flow, meaning how decisions move from one role to another. A common beginner misconception is that defining roles is enough, but roles must be connected through routines like reviews, approvals, and escalation paths. For example, a business owner may propose a use case. A risk function may classify it as high impact. Privacy and compliance may define requirements. Security may validate controls, and the system owner may operate and monitor the system after deployment. That flow should be predictable so teams know what happens next and do not invent process on the spot. Predictability reduces bypass because people are less likely to avoid governance when governance is clear and timely. This is also where documentation becomes important because decision records show who approved what and why. When a question asks how to ensure decisions are owned and clear, the best answer often includes both role assignment and a routine that makes responsibilities actionable. As we wrap up, defining AI roles and responsibilities is really about building a reliable decision system where ownership is clear, accountability is real, and actions are consistent over time. Executive sponsors provide authority and resolve conflicts. Business owners define purpose and accept residual risk. System owners maintain ongoing control, and security, privacy, compliance, and risk functions provide requirements, validation, and evidence. Technical teams implement controls and maintain the system, while vendor and procurement roles manage external dependencies and obligations. The most important beginner lesson is that AI security failures often come from gaps in responsibility, not from a lack of clever technology. When roles are clear, the organization can move faster and safer because people know what they must do and when. That clarity is exactly what Task 1 is emphasizing, and it is why so many exam questions reward answers that create ownership and defensible decision records. If you can consistently think in terms of who owns the decision, who verifies the control, and who maintains evidence, you will be thinking like a capable AAISM leader.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit BareMetalCyber.com.